Jewish Patriot here. We're going to have a little fun now on this podcast. We're going to do my top 9 old fart TV shows of all time. Like before, I would have had 10, but because of inflation, I'm only going to do 9. There you go. Okay, number 9, Hogan's Heroes. Got to have that. I mean, being Jewish, making fun of the Nazis. Schultz, I know nothing, I see nothing. Colonel Klink, Hogan, oh, Buchhalter, oh, Hogan, oh, God. Was that? I don't even know if that was a good impression. And Bob Crane, who became a sex pervert and actually got murdered, which was not too good, but I always liked that show. Number 8, Columbo, maybe the best written. One more thing. Biggest nudnik, the biggest nudnik that ever lived. You just couldn't get rid of him. I mean, I don't think that show would have flown in Brooklyn because, it just said, would you get lost already? You're getting on my nerves. And I'm telling you, you do this again, you're going into the garbage can. But anyway, it's a great show, great writing. Oh, and I remember the one that I really liked was with Robert Conrad, where he figured out that the guy couldn't have killed himself or had the accident because of the way he tied his shoelaces with the loops. It's like when somebody else ties your shoelace, then it's tied a different way than when you yourself tied. It was brilliant. So that was probably my favorite one. Okay, number 7, Batman. Thank you. Boy, a little late. Let's do that again.
Batman.
All right. The question I have about Batman was like, who built the Batcave? It was supposed to be a secret. Well, I guess that Alfred had a lot more left in him with Robin and 3 guys. They built the whole cave with all the very good job. The utility belt, that was a good one. That was his big thing. And I always remember, I always said, there's no way he's going to get out of it this time. He wasn't going to get out, and you had to wait a whole week. It was like once a week. And he said, stay tuned, same bat time, same bat channel. I like that show. Number 6, Mission Impossible. Your mission, Mr. Phelps, should you decide to accept it. You notice he always accepted it. I mean, you think one time he'd go like, no, I'm going to pass. That one's a little bit too dangerous for me. Give it to some other guy. I'm out of that. And then they always had the disguises with the masks, and then you never knew who you were talking to, and it was unbelievable. And then they would say, as always, should you or any of your IMF force be caught or killed, the secretary will disavow any knowledge. What secretary? You don't think they could have found the secretary? Like, where was the secretary? Like, she's some kind of, in some basement and bunker that they couldn't find her. They'd kill her in a minute, the secretary. Okay. Oh, and the best action movie of all time for me was Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. That was directed and written by Christopher McQuarrie. That was genius, really. With what's her name, with the yellow dress thing and the water. He dives in there and then he runs out of air and then she has to save him, and the motorcycles, and then the brilliant thing with putting that thing. Oh, and really great was the movie ended the same way it began, but just the bad guy now gets it. It was really, really brilliantly written, Mr. McQuarrie. You're a smart boy. Okay. Number 5, Banachek. Oh, did I love that show. George Papard was so great because you couldn't understand how the thing disappeared that they were looking for all of a sudden. It was like brilliantly written. Brilliantly written. Fantastic. Love that show. Number 4, Taxi. Who could forget Taxi? Taxi, the funniest. Oh my God, you know something? I left out the Honeymooners. I got to put it, I'm going to have to make it 10. I got to have that in there. I can't believe I left that out. Taxi, the funniest and best characters, I think, of all time as a group. Basically, I call it the Unfriend Show, whereas the Friends had no funny people in the show at all. I mean, it was basically like some kind of beauty pageant, really. Jennifer Aniston, how did she get into a sitcom? She's just way too good looking. Taxi had Louie, Latka, Ignatowski, and later Simka. I mean, it was just funniest characters of all time. And I remember one of the best scenes ever is Iggy is taking a driver's test and he goes, "What does a yield sign mean?" And they're cheating, so the four of them are standing on the side and they go, "Slow down." And he goes, "What does oh yeah." He keeps slowing down. Jackass. All right. Number three. Number three is the coolest show of all time, The Green Hornet. Did you know about The Green Hornet, Christian?
Yeah.
You know, Bruce Lee. So, I mean, that was every, I know Jewish kids growing up to be Bruce Lee. I mean, the coolest fighter ever. Bruce Lee. Oh, my God, I loved it. It only had a few episodes. I don't know how it got canceled. They made a movie of it with, I think Jonah Hill was in that movie. It was just a disaster what they did. I don't even know who was in it. Terrible. What else? I think that's it with the green. Oh yeah, Quentin Tarantino made a fool of him in his movie Once Upon a Time. I mean, you took the coolest guy, you made him into a fool. What was that about? What'd you do that for? It was not nice. That's all I could say. Number two, I Love Lucy. Unbelievable. Probably the best sitcom of all time. I think it's the first one with a live audience. So that was a great trick. 11 million families tuned in every week, and they only had 15 million TVs in the whole country. Can you imagine that? That's insanity. What do I remember? The chocolate scene, right? Speed it up! And then you had Friends of the Friendless. She was a flotsam in the sea. They thought they were ignoring her birthday, and then they had the big birthday cake. And there's just so many. With the grapes, stomping the grapes. I mean, it's just hilarious stuff. Number one, and then I'm going to add the Honeymooners, because I have to do that. Superman. That's number one. I mean, truth, justice, and the American way. That's it. Jerry Seinfeld had the best joke ever of that. They would fire bullets at Superman. He always stood there like this, right? And then when they threw the gun at him, he ducked. Boy, that Jerry, he's got some eye, huh? Boy, oh boy, what a talent. Best all around stand-up, I don't know, of all time, Jerry Seinfeld. Legend. Oh, and they had a thing in the beginning. How do you mistake a bird for a plane? They said, look up in the sky. It's a bird. No, it's a plane. They were blind in Metropolis. That's how I know they got away with having just a pair of glasses be a disguise. Can you imagine? They're sitting around a table and they're going like, okay, we need a disguise. And some schmuck raises his hand and he goes, what about if he puts on a pair of glasses? They go, that's it, lunch. We got it. He put on a pair of glasses. I don't know how they got away with that. Okay, now I'm going to add a bonus. I got to add it because I can't believe the Honeymooners. The Honeymooners was like the funniest thing. Ralph and Norton. Ralphie boy. Huh? Great. Scene after scene. My friend in the pool hall, he goes, oh, here's my friend. Oh, let's see your friend. This guy's a monster. He thought he's some little pipsqueak. The Raccoon Lodge. It's like just funny. Actually, my father, he fell down the stairs and he broke a bone here in his rib. and he came in, whatever, and later he could not watch the Honeymooners. He would crack up and then he'd be in pain. I mean, that's how funny the show was. So that's my list. And I hope write your comments in there. What you think are some of the shows that I missed, maybe some of the shows you really liked that you thought were really great. And that's it. So, as always, God bless America, greatest country in the world ever.